Hello, dear friends. I'm Shiv Mathur, and I'll be now giving you some idea about the gurus who inspired me. Even the books, I think, though I don't read books, but yeah, I now been gone through 2-3 books finally. So I will start with Kabir. Kabir was a wonderful guru, and his teaching was very potent. His words were very potent, and if you understand his poetry and his words, he was very purely spiritual guru. Guru Nanak, his Guru Granth Sahib is a pure Vedantic book, and Gurbani, though it is taught in Punjabi, but if translation can be done, that's also amazing. And you can see the teachings of Guru Granth Sahib being practiced in the Gurudwara with Sankirtan, Sangat, and Seva service. Pandit Sriram Sharma was another amazing yogi, I would say, and he was like a social reformer. He was driving, and there is an organization called All World Gayatri Parivar, which is quite flourishing well, doing quite well, and they are trying to follow what he was trying to preach. He was teaching about spirituality, humanity, and releasing the world from unhappiness and sufferings. So he was teaching basically again Vedantic way of living. So Vedanta is Sanatana Dharma, is the essence of life of a human, and that's what he was preaching. His way, if you see his videos, it's in Hindi, but he's very forceful and powerful. So though he was a yogi, but he was a very strong social reformer, I would say. His words are also very potent. He was a little blunt and aggressive in pushing people, so he used to really push his followers so that the reforms can be done and the world can return to Satyug. Very learned and very self-realized, highly self-realized guru he was, Pandit Sriram Sharma. So I really bow to him. I really enjoyed hearing him in his videos. So for Kabir, I would recommend you listen to his bhajans, poetry. So a lot of people are singing, but his words are difficult to understand. So somebody has to explain the translation, and then only you will understand, because just 4 lines can awaken you. Tatwale Baba, definitely a realized yogi. He passed away in 1974, and there's only one discourse his discourse which is available and which I have translated in English, available on my YouTube channel. His discourse is in Hindi, a very potent discourse. He's telling that the prime essence of his teaching is that don't look for happiness in the external world. It's all in. Stop looking outside. You will the happiness which is already there. It'll get revealed to you, which is already there. You don't have to search for it. So that's his prime message, which he's repeatedly mentioned in his teaching. And once you realize that, once you disconnect with the external world, then you get established in yourself, true self. So then Ramana Maharshi, and then Nisargadatta Guru Maharaj, both were amazing gurus. Again, they taught specifically, they focused on non-duality, which we call Advait, Dvait. And what is the meaning by Advait? Advait means non-duality, Dvait means duality. So we live in a dual world, which is a true self, and the external world, which is an illusion. So they are trying to tell that, understand this is an illusion, and then start disconnecting by whatever you are connecting. Start disconnecting with that by understanding that's an illusion, and then you will come to the non-duality, the singular world. Swami Vivekananda preached Vedanta. His style of teaching was very different. He was also a social reformer, but his teaching was very simple. Like it's a very simple way to teach. So every guru has his own style of teaching, and I think his style was, I would say, a very simple way of teaching, and his teachings are also amazing. Now I cannot really describe everything. If once you see his teachings, you can probably read his book. There's a book called Yoga or Supreme Yoga. I think that's one good book of Swami Vivekananda. And I forgot to mention Ramana Maharshi passed away in, I think, 1948. I'm not sure. So most of these gurus were there in the before 2000. The last. They all mostly passed away in the last century. Unfortunately, you don't really find a guru of. I've not been able to really find. Some yogis I've found, but some of them are not preaching. Some preach, some don't preach. So then Yukteswar Giri was the guru of Paramahansa Yoganand, and he was also a realized soul. But he wrote a book, Holy Science. He had a very good knowledge about the creation. He wrote about yogas, though which differs from the other description of yoga. And but I think whatever these guru teach, we all have to find it ourselves. So if you can find out about this creation, about the yogas yourself by going into tapasya and deep meditation for a long period of time, probably you will get answers yourself. Yoganand Paramahansa was also a very realized guru. He was also a reformer, and his teaching was also pretty simple. And then I will talk about Chakradhar Joshi ji, who's an astrologer and an astronomer, whose Vedshala, the observatory, is there in Devrayag. In fact, where I'm living, I was there for last 3 months. And now his son Acharya Bhaskar Joshi ji is there, who is also a great sadhak. Chakradhar Joshi ji he has an amazing collection. That observatory has a huge library, and he was a very well-known scholar and a yogi and an astrologer and astronomer in India. So all the eminent people in the country met him and interacted with him. So he was like Muktanandji. I forgot Muktanandji, Swami Muktanand. So he knew all big yogis and sages in India. So these are people who will inspire. There are so many religious leaders in India, so many gurus. Still, I'm not naming them, but they are not the one who can. I've not listed them out here. I'm not mentioning that they are good and bad, or less realized or more realized. I'm only the ones who have inspired me, and I feel are complete. They're complete and from all respect. The only difference is they have their own style. So in Kedarnath, I met a yogi who's passed away. I have a video of his, though I wish I could have more conversations with him and then record their knowledge and wisdom and share. So now he's not there. Neither his teachings are there. So if you look at Sri Ram Sharma, they have written some books. They have a lot of literature, and their followings have been documented. They have a YouTube channel, so his lectures are recorded and his videos are there. Similarly, Swami Rama, I'm going to come next. Swami Ram was another amazing Vedantic teacher, and his videos on Yoga Sutra of Patanjali and Upanishads and Vedas are amazing. Very simple language. So he was another one whose teachings of the scriptures can, through a very simple language, can transform you and help you on the spiritual path. So Yoganand wrote few books. Chakradhar Joshi ji has a huge collection, but I am not sure whether he wrote some books. Vivekananda wrote books. Nisarg Datta Guru Maharaj didn't write, but his discourses are available, which were translated in English and Hindi, because he used to speak in his native language Marathi. Ramana Maharshi, again, he was a silent transmitter of, through silence he used to communicate, and some of his teachings are captured through books, though there are no lectures which are recorded, but most of his teachings have been captured through the books. But he was basically a silent teacher. Tatale Baba, nothing is available. Pandit Sri Ram Sharma, Lord Guru Nanak wrote the Guru Granth Sahib, the holy book. And Kabir has his poetry, which is whatever is available, people have studied it and explained them. And there are a lot of bhajans, so that's still alive. So it can, liberate you. Swami Shankar Das, who was a disciple of Tatwale Babaji, I had many conversations, infinite number of conversations with him, spiritual conversations. But unfortunately, last 4-5 years, there's a lot of crowd coming in the cave, and so you don't get time to converse with him. So all kind of people come. So before that, from 2015 to 17, 18, I would say 18 or 19, those 4-5 years, I had privilege of having exclusive conversations with him going on for 3-4 hours, and that was very enlightening, interesting conversations we used to have. Ganesh Das ji, who leads by example, inspiring for his service. He's doing selfless service, and he has also got wonderful ideas. Unfortunately, he was so busy, like he was serving water in the daytime till 5 o'clock in the evening. So there was a lot of noise and people are constantly coming. So I could not get an opportunity to have a discussion with him. And only once or twice when I went to his cottage, there also he was kind of busy, so somehow I could not, he was highly active, I would say. He will not sit idle. So a person who is just not sitting, who has something or other to do for whatever reason, I feel, how can you have a conversation? So, but he was a very pure, simple soul, and he's still there in Vrindavan. Nargiri Padamgiri ji, if you see his video and see his photograph, he has a divine peace on his face, and had a very short conversation with him. Unfortunately, I could not meet him again because in 21, when I went to Gangotri, I couldn't see him there, and it was raining, and we had to leave the next day morning itself. So I didn't get time, and he's passed away. He's left his body last year, I believe. So it's a loss. Nothing documented about him. That's the only video in this on YouTube which I have made. Nobody else has met him before. Then Bhaskar Joshi ji, I mentioned, I had many spiritual experiences at this place and with him, and we do have conversations, but I have not recorded them because sometimes I feel every time I can't be recording conversations, and I had 3-4 few opportunities where I could really talk to him exclusively. That was recently when I was living there. I met him once or twice. He's been now traveling a lot, and he was in Badrinath when I went to Devprayag. So for a month I was in Devprayag, and he returned, in fact, 2 months. So I haven't got much time and not been able to capture his knowledge. And he's not a preacher actually. He's a little ritualistic. He does some sadhana which is ritualistic of Kriya Yoga. Swami Joginder, whom I met in Uttarkashi, he is also very knowledgeable. He was a disciple of Ma Anandmayi. So his principle is seva. That's what Ma Anandmayi preached. And he also is an amazing guy, but he's living a worldly life of ashram. He's in Ma Anandmayi ashram in Uttarkashi. He's also a busy man, very active, totally involved in work, so difficult to find time to talk to him. So there are active yogis. Active means they are active in the world, worldly active yogi. So like Joginder Swamiji, or if I mention about Ganesh Das ji, they are doing some seva. So when those who are involved in seva, they are, I won't use the word restless, but they are restless. I mean, they are overactive actually. So it's very difficult to talk to them, and yeah, that's it. Then I will come to Ma Anandamayi. She, she should be the top on the list, but was avatar. She was like an avatar, and she was always in a state of bliss. So she was a very high level, I would say, high level avatar who, and people who had, and she was exactly not preaching, but people used to flock to her, and there were a lot of discourses. Discourses means she was only answering questions of people. Like a lot of people will ask questions, and there's a big crowd, and she will give answers. And a lot of the answers, questions were not very relevant to every spiritual seeker, because sometimes they were very irrelevant question, but she always answered every question, relevant or irrelevant. So all kind of people were asking, and unfortunately, she also passed away a couple of decades back, and I feel sad that when I was alive as a young person, when some of these gurus were there, I could not get to meet them. It's really sad. Then Germany, whom I met in Kalishila, I had a very short discussion with her because I just stayed for a night there one evening. So I really could not get time, though she, asked me that I can stay for a few more days, and I had to return, so I couldn't. And now I'm unable to meet her. She's now not there in her place for the last 4-5 months. Almost 5 months she's not there. She's right now with her parents who need her right now. And, Lalita Ma is still living in Gangotri, and Lalita Ma Taji is also very wonderful yogi. She's also in a state of bliss, and you can have very nice conversations, and she can really give you direction in a spiritual path. Quite a self-realized yogini. Then I will talk about one Russian yogini, Annapurna Giri. She's one I have not met. I've seen her video, and she's amazing. Her knowledge is amazing. Like, she's also a league apart, and I have not been able to find out where she is. Where does she live? She lives somewhere in Kedarnath, near Kedarnath in Chokta, but I've not been able to meet her, and I hope I meet her. Then Shunya Mataji, I just came across a video, and that guy knows me who makes those videos. He lives in Uttarkashi, and he met Shunya Mata in Gangotri, and I saw that video, and I think she's also another league apart, amazingly, and she's from, I think, France. So in here I've listed you 3 yoginis who are living in India. One from Germany, Kalishila. Her name is Saraswati Ma. Then Russian Sadhvi, whose name is Annapurna Giri, and Shunya Ma, I don't know where is she living. So the person who interviewed her doesn't know that, unfortunately. So hopefully I'll probably come across her. So I'd like to meet these 2 yoginis definitely, and they are filled with a lot of wisdom. Last, I would like to mention Maharani Ahilyabai Holkar. I've been to her place, Maheshwar, and during my 2 road trips from Pune to Gangotri and Kedarnath, and I stayed there for a night. And you have to probably read her life story to get inspired by what all she did. She was amazing because she was ruling, actually. She was a ruler, and her story is also very intense. And she was like a spiritual leader, come a queen who's ruling that kingdom, and what reforms she brought in, social reforms, and along with the spirituality and the religion. And she has contributed a lot towards the temples, the main temples in Varanasi, Kashi, even Kedarnath, Badrinath. I think she has a huge contribution. You have to read that. So very inspiring. Then I would also just touch upon some of the books which probably will help you in the spiritual journey, books that will inspire you on a spiritual path. I would recommend Living with the Himalayan Masters. I've read this book, Autobiography Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, that everybody knows. I have read half of this book. book for enlightenment. You can read Bhagavad Gita, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Adhyatmik Ramayana, Yoga Vasisht. And Yoga Vasisht is the highest. So you should go in a sequence. Read Gita, then I would say read Patanjali Yoga Sutra, then I would say read Adhyatmik Ramayana, and then last you should read Yoga Vasishta. That should be the sequence. Meditation books, Conquest of Mind by Swami Shivananda, and I would recommend my book also, Meditation and Spirituality, a Philosophy for Meditation. I forgot to mention Swami Shivananda. Swami Shivananda was also a very realized yogi. He was a surgeon who left his profession and moved to Rishikesh, and he has a wonderful ashram. Some of his disciples are also very well known, and he has many books. He's written many books, and he has his ashram in Uttarakashi. He has one ashram in south of India, and he has this ashram in Rishikesh. So his teachings are also very profound. Though I have not read his books, but I am recommending one of his books. I had bought that book and I saw what all was there in that. That is Conquest of Mind, and I wish to read that book once. And though I've understood what he's written because I went through the topics, and so he took samadhi. He's one yogi whose samadhi, when he took samadhi, live samadhi, when he told that this day he'll take samadhi, and he took samadhi. There is a video of his samadhi on YouTube, so you can see that. So he was really a realized yogi, and somebody says he was an avatar of Vasishtha, I think, Sage Vasishtha. So many gurus to inspire you. How much you will read and listen to their discourses, and so I mean it cannot be defined, but then all together they will probably put you on a nice path for spiritual growth. So I thought I will make this video because somebody was asking, can you make a video? So I also made a video on real gurus, and I mentioned about these yogis, but I made a separate video especially regarding inspiration which people want to seek.